We are here with one of the best sports agents in baseball, is Scott Boras. How you doing in this whole pandemic? How's everything?
Well, myself, my family, we're all doing well. You almost feel guilty when we're out in California and you talk to all the people that back in the Northeast and certain states have been dramatically affected by the virus. So we've been fortunate and everyone's healthy, and I hope you and your family and everyone you're associated with as well, Claudia.
Now, how are you guys dealing with this coronavirus and the stay-at-home orders, especially your business?
Well, our office has been shut down ever since the stay-at-home uh, orders have been elicited by California. We've been operating by Zoom and teleconferencing and FaceTime throughout. We've had many meetings with our clients, with doctors, with medical health professionals, providing education, sharing information. We're sending out weekly emails to our clients to keep them updated on both the front about the medical aspects and also the business aspects of sports. In March, we went through a major negotiation with the owners to reach an agreement about how we would go forward with the players and such. So we got that a little bit understood. And now it's really been a lot about making sure the players are aware because they all have to make safety decisions about going ahead and playing and what they're going to do. And we're just trying to provide them with the most information we can. And and we have a sport fitness institute in our company, and our training staff has been in touch with everyone about their conditioning and what they're doing to facilitate staying ready to play with and when that time comes.
Now, it looks like MLB is moving to the start of the season, even though some big name players have concerns about the safety. The commissioner said any player that doesn't want to play have the rights. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. So, what's your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that should be true of anything. I mean, I think in any employment environment, it's not a servitude or a requirement, so it's always their choice. And I think a lot of this has to do with getting. We're in a new time, a new virus. We have even our country 2 months ago did not know much about this medically. We got actually some bad medical information about it, and the medical experts have provided a lot of information, a lot of studies. I think for athletes, it's been very clear this virus has a profound impact on those of age and those that have underlying medical conditions, and they're not in great shape. Um, Athletes, of course, are in first class physical condition. They don't. Not many of them have underlying medical conditions, and they're very young, between that 18 and 45 group. So the virus has had a very good survival rate, if you will, stands for those who are of Major League Baseball performance age. We've got countries like Korea and Taiwan that have been operating their baseball leagues now for anywhere over 90 days. So we've gotten a good model from them about how to go forward and what to do. I don't think any of the baseball players have been hospitalized, and I'm sure that having that information is very comforting to a lot of major leaguers.
Do you see any long term effects from this pandemic on baseball and sports in general?
Um, I'm very encouraged about having a vaccine because obviously we've gotten a lot of great information of late. There's therapeutics that are coming that I think are going to help. And I think this vaccine, or I should say the pandemic itself, is going to be looked at very different with a vaccine than without by both economy and what our country. But look, our country has taken a great economic hit from this. I think in sport, the great thing is there's benefits where there's going to be a lot more people watching professional sports in 2020 because Hollywood has basically been shut down. There's no fresh content. There's not a lot of new things to look at. And so I think people are going to look for sports and the ratings early on for many of the Jordan documentary or the UFC fights or things that the ratings have been extraordinarily high. So there may be a benefit to this for baseball because of the fact that it'll be able to give a live, fresh content. And it'll get rewards there, but we're going to have to start the game without fans for a bit and see how it goes. But I'm hoping in 2021 we'll have the virus under control and our economy will be restored to its normal operating environment, and baseball, which has been tremendously successful the last 15 years, is going to be equally successful going forward.
You just mentioned about having fans in the stands, and MLB expects probably to lose around $640,000. That like a big concern for them, besides the virus, obviously, and get contaminated from that.
Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of numbers that are thrown around. Obviously, that number doesn't include a lot of television contracts, and it doesn't include sponsorship, and it doesn't include the postseason amount of money that they receive. We've got about over 3 billion, probably $5 billion contracts in a normal season, but about 3 billion in revenues that even with a partial season that will go. So Major League Baseball is a lot better off playing games than they are not playing them. And what I would say from the player perspective is that, the clear thing is that players are assets to a franchise, and you need to have those assets exercise, condition, performing, because you're going to want them to perform next year and future years. And when they take off, and if they didn't perform for a year and a half, it may have effect on their retention of their skills and getting back to elite levels. So I think everyone agrees that playing baseball and going forward with baseball is really best for the game and the whole, both for the owners and the players.
Is the new protocol going to work to move forward?
Well, I think the protocols suggested are first take a look at the needs of the public health issue and the public health professionals, what they've given. We also have the application to the age group, but we also have players have needs about their routines and what they do to prevent injury in the performance of their duties. And there has to be, I think, a bit of a compromise in there as to the public health best efforts, and also the best efforts to make sure that players are in first class condition and their routines are kept that allow them to perform at optimum levels and also keep them from getting injured and doing what they're doing. So that always is a best case scenario given by the public health dynamic, and then the best case scenario given by the players. A lot of compromise and understanding to abide by both. And again, I think putting together that protocol, much like they've done in Korea and Taiwan, is more about reaching a very safe compromise, if you will, for it taking both interests, performance issues, training issues, health issues of the player and the performance of their duties, and the public health issue. And that usually takes time, and I think they're in the process of doing that now.
You guys are still negotiating and trying to figure things out, obviously.
Yeah, the process is one where Major League Baseball has given a protocol. The union and the players sit down and examine and also make adjustments and discuss it and determine what the final protocol will be. So they do that in good faith and discussions, and that's ongoing now between them.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott, so much for this time. And it was a pleasure to see you here. Stay safe out there and see you soon.
But it's always a pleasure, and always enjoy talking baseball with you. Take care.